That's right.
Okay. Howdy, everyone. Well, hopefully this is working. As always, let us know how things sound, how they look. Thank you, chat, for keeping us going smoothly here. Welcome to an Avenue Studios date night chat discussion thing with our good friend Glenn. Obviously, it is only me here and Glenn, but as far as Daniel, Kristen, Jacob, and some others are down at the studio working on some Eldamon campaign. So that's in the works. That's going to be starting on March 20th, coming up sooner than you think. Again, on Thursdays. Same start time at 9 p.m. Eastern, but we've got some differences. We've got, the differences is not with the Eldamon campaign. The difference is for the St. Patrick's Day Penguin one-shot game that's going to happen on March 13th, again, the Thursday. The difference is due to the scheduling, we actually have some of our awesome supporters joining us for new penguin roles in the St. Penguin's Day game. And so to bring this back around to Glenn, I believe, Glenn, you're on board to be one of those penguins in the St. Penguin's Day, right?
Well, yes. Yes, I am.
Nice.
I don't know. I've been workshopping being a penguin named Penguin St. Penguins.
Very good. Yeah, I'll be looking forward to that one. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out, because they have just been off the wall goofy so far. So it's exciting to just give it to more people to see what you guys can do with it.
You know, it just wouldn't be the holidays without a penguin live shot. And by the way, big shout out to our friends Grimwood Games in the chat, and 𝙏𝙖𝙗𝙗𝙗, you can be my ally anytime.
And I believe she will as well in the St. Penguin's Day one-shot. So I think that, as well as a couple others. We got some fun things coming up. As well as Scratter Days, and I don't know. I'd have to really look at the calendar to see what else. But
I gotta ask about the story. How did Scratter Days come about, Michelle?
With Scrat, Squirrel Plays, we've been collaborating with him, and then it tended to be on Saturdays. That seems to be the best time the Avenue Studios can do our streams and the games, trying to play test for other content creators. And then I don't exactly know, it was probably just kind of bouncing around tongue twister of Scrat on Saturdays, and it just kind of squished together. So now it's a Scratter Day.
There you go.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Avenue Studios comes up with random new words.
Yes, like, you know.
Like that. Like, there it is. I know. I'm not sure what ended up happening with the Cud for Connor and those sorts of jokes. Kristen tried a few different times to put it on, but she's just too good of a design artist there. They kept thinking she was like copying it or something, so I'm not sure how that played out, but
I don't know. And Tom in the log chat, I see what you did there. Wow.
It always is. But yeah, so Glenn,
yeah,
go ahead. You go ahead. So it's been fun to get to know you, Glenn. We actually met in person at Page, and I've just been really having fun with the random connections that you and I have, especially with film, TV shows. We just talked about Buckaroo Banzai. If you've never seen Buckaroo Banzai, try and defeat the 8th dimension characters there. You should check it out. As well as Doctor Who, and just things down to dogs and horses. I mean, it's just been fun to get to know you. And so I thought this would be a neat opportunity to learn more about your RPGs versus AD, and give you a chance to promote this, which I had thought it was upcoming, but is this fundraiser current? As I put up the website, I saw it was like you can donate now.
You can actually. So let me explain a little bit about RPGs versus AD, as well as The Longest Day. So just for some context, and for any people who are watching this after the live stream, because I know everyone in the live stream knows me now. My name's Glen Finney. My day job when I'm not playing role-playing games is I'm a behavioral neurologist. So I study all those things the brain does that are particularly human, like language, tool use, personality, memory, judgment, and the diseases that impact them. Alzheimer's disease and related disorders are my big area of practice. My little dog is trying to get on the couch, I think, but I don't know. She's ambivalent. She doesn't know if she wants to be on the live stream. Anyway, that's her choice. As part of that mission, that passion of mine to fight Alzheimer's and related disorders, I've become very involved in certain things over the years. I'm currently on the board for the Greater Pennsylvania chapter of the Alzheimer's Association. And, you know, as part of the Alzheimer's Association, really we try to raise funds to support research to find a cure for these diseases. And this is my little doggy. Yeah. So she'll be our familiar for today.
Yes.
So as part of that, there's several ways that the Alzheimer's Association raises money. One is the Walk to End Alzheimer's Disease, which you may have seen. That's usually in the fall. But another one that's been very exciting over the past few years is called The Longest Day. I think they were riffing off a little bit the fact that a lot of times when people have a dementia, they refer to it sometimes as the long goodbye, because it is a disease that stretches out over a long time. It's this really icky middle ground between a chronic disease and a terminal disease. Yeah. But the longest day is centered around the summer solstice. Here in the northern hemisphere, in the southern hemisphere would be the winter solstice, but shortest day. But it's north hemisphere based, so it's the longest day, June 20th in 2025, and people basically form either their own individual page or team pages, and they commit to doing something on the longest day to bring awareness about Alzheimer's disease and related disorders, and hopefully inspire people to donate for the cause. And people do all sorts of things like mahjong is a big one, walking, dance-a-thons. I mean, you can do anything you want, whatever your passion is. Well, my passion, role-playing games. So I started doing longest day actually with my kids, who I raised them actually playing first edition AD&D until we jumped over to fifth edition, heavily homebrewed first edition, as everyone does, Yeah. But we did that first, and then I got involved with a bunch of nerdy leaders in neurology. We've been doing a fifth edition Curse of Strahd campaign since February of 2020.
Wow.
Yeah. It's been a minute.
Yeah.
And they were very kind to get involved, and we did a couple fundraisers around them. And then it's kind of grown from there. And last year, we did a live stream with the Pocket Dimension and Tabletop Phoenix. Great event, raised about $1,600. It was played with DC-20.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite systems in evolution right now. Dungeon Coach Alan showed up. By the way, he's been a big supporter. He's going to be part of our RPGs versus AD.
Oh, neat.
We're about the details on that. And really this year, we wanted to go big. So we expanded it out. This is a call to action for all you RPGers out there, okay? I don't care what you love to play. I don't care what genre, what system. If you want to fight against Alzheimer's disease and related disorders, if you want to help us find a cure, sign up. We have the link here for the longest day team page for RPGs versus AD. And you can sign up as a team member. I've got people who have way too much money to spend on RPG games, and others who have to go buy whatever the free things are. If you don't have a lot of funds, still sign up as a team member. And what can you do? Well, you can first raise awareness. Let people know about our RPGs versus AD fundraiser. Get the word out, get the link out. We're going to be providing some flyers shortly to get the word out. Get the word out. Let your friends and family know. Let your social network know. That's one thing. And encourage people to get involved. If you have the funds and the spirit so moves you, feel free to donate. By the way, I think they've got a minimum amount. You can actually get a purple longest day shirt. I think it looks very good also with our DC-20 colors for those. One of my other activities is I'm one of the grand game masters on the DC-20 West Marches Discord server. We play a lot of DC-20 there, and we love purple. But purple is also the color for the Alzheimer's Association. But also, what we really want to see people do is sign up to be game masters, to run at least one session dedicated to raising awareness and funds for the Alzheimer's Association Longest Day. Basically, there's kind of three different models I throw out there for game masters, depending on your level of social media savvy. and maybe a little bit your technology. And one is just let people know we're going to play a game next Thursday dedicated to fighting Alzheimer's. Okay. And in honor of that, will you sign up to support us, maybe donate if you can, to raise money and awareness for the Alzheimer's Association. And then after you do the session, let people know how it went. Tell them what happened. Okay. A next level involvement might be, some of us, like to record things. Michelle's recording this now. Maybe play a session and record it and post it on your social media, whether that's Twitch, Rumble, YouTube, whatever, wherever your videos live, you could show it off and let people know beforehand that you're doing it. And then let them see what you did afterwards to raise awareness. And then the last one, for those who are very technologically savvy or just that, crazy, we'll get into crazy in a moment, you could live stream a game. That's what we did for last year's fundraiser with the Pocket Dimension and Tabletop Phoenix. It was great. And if you have that wherewithal, it really raises, I think, some excitement. Now, a couple things you might wonder as a game master if you decide to do that is how do you do that? How do you get some added excitement around it? Oftentimes we put in like little, I've seen some things done on some of the live streams with Avenue Studios, like you can donate to give a bane or a boon in a game or to bring on an ally or an enemy. So as a game master, you can set different levels that people can give. If it's beforehand, it can be individual gifts for like a player character or just something to happen, like an extra D20 or D6, whatever dice you're using. I suggest if you're doing a live stream, different levels. Like if we hit this much giving total, by the time we hit this, we'll have this happen in the game. Like, a tsunami will come flooding through on the Penguin Beach,
or a beaver shows up. I mean,
why not?
Right.
But that's a way to raise excitement and get people kind of maybe getting a little more into the spirit of things. So there's a lot of different ways to do it. That's how I've done fundraisers this way and seen fundraisers done. And also, I should mention, not everyone likes to be a game master. In fact, some people might want to stop being the forever DM and get behind playing a character. You can sign up as a player character. Look for game masters on our team page to link with, or if you want to be a player and you don't know who you can play with, outreach to us on the team page and we'll try and link people. You could do this live in person, in your homes, in your gaming shops, wherever it works. You can do it virtually on Zoom or whatever platform you use. The important thing is to do it. We're going to have a bunch of sessions in the next several months leading up to the longest day. So that'll be getting some momentum, getting some excitement building. I know our own Avenue Studios has penciled in a date, June 9th.
I think so, yeah.
I know one of our wonderful game masters on the DC 20 West Marches has planned for June 14th. We're going to start filling in that calendar. We're going to get some more shout outs. I've got some YouTube personalities who are willing to get the word out once we've got the schedule. People like Bob World Builder, Ginny D, so the community's starting to see this and starting to rise to the occasion. It's very exciting.
Yeah.
And when we do ours June 9th, we're going to play my own light RPG in development, Clever, Cool, Crazy.
Yeah, and I was excited to hear more about that tonight because when we connected at Page, I know you kind of ran it a few times. I think it was Daniel and Kristen and even Jacob got to play, but I was kind of off doing some secretary and other different things, so I didn't get a chance to really sit down and look at it. But I was thinking as you were talking, I had a couple questions. How long have you been doing this particular fundraiser? And have you done, you were mentioning you kind of did other fundraisers too before, but you have a lot of experience.
Sometimes I feel like not enough, but so probably tabletop role-playing games under various names. I would say about 5 years, perhaps. It was, I think the original name I had was Dungeons and Dragons and Dementias. That was one name we did it under. Lots of alliteration.
That makes sense. Yes, I love it.
And then, we also did, DC 20 versus AD, last year. That was exciting. And, now RPGs versus AD. So I've also done some fundraising with role-playing games in my professional community. I actually was part of and ran our federal political action committee, Brain Pack, for the American Academy of Neurology for several years. And we did a few fundraisers where we sent out the links to our neurologist colleagues to watch me and that neurology group I play Curse of Strahd with play little homebrew. It was level 12, real exciting. Wow. I made the mistake of having one of the things people could bid on be drawing a card from the deck of many things.
Oh, yeah.
Literally someone donated to get that at the very beginning of the first session. That was exciting.
Starting off with a bang, or who knows? Yeah. Oh, that's good. Now, the way you're describing some of the things, are you the forever GM? Is that?
I'm not. Actually,
oh, okay.
No. I do a lot of game mastering. I like to fiddle with things, homebrew. I like to, I usually especially like to homebrew my own settings and, adventures. But, I will use modules and campaigns, either scavenging for parts or sometimes I'll play them outright. I like this Curse of Strahd one that I've been playing for 5 years now. I'm a player.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I thought you meant you were running it.
No, I am not. Actually, it's one of my dear friends and colleagues, Dan Ackerman, a stroke neurologist at St. Luke's. Actually, he's the interim chairman there who runs it. Yeah. So he makes a fetching Strahd von Zarevich, I must say. And he's incorporated a lot of his own homebrew.
Nice. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, I mean, with Jacob, like what you're saying with homebrew, and I think it's probably more comfortable for GMs to start homebrewing stuff like that, but
it's a slippery slope. Mm-hmm. Game mastering is a gateway drug to homebrewing, which then leads to game design and,
Yep.
So. But it was really actually very touching. So we had an insider joke that came on early on, because if anyone's played Curse of Strahd, this isn't too much of a spoiler, but Barovia, the real horror is the economic poverty. Like everything costs more, and we had a joke early on, like we were like, well, how much is it for a hand axe? And they quoted the price in the store, and it's like, that's outrageous. So like everything, we were like, well, how much would that be worth in hand axes? So earlier this week, our DM, Dan, he actually gifted the entire group custom-made hand axes.
Oh my goodness.
Are each character's name engraved in the handle.
Wow. That's so priceless. That is very priceless. Oh, that is neat. Man, I think I'm the forever producer. I thought I was, but now here I am and actually doing a stream on my own. But yeah, I am not familiar. I've never played that. I really haven't played much. I played Tales of Elsewhere recently, and I've done some DC 20, but like you said, you play with your kids, we'll play with our kids, and so we don't stream that yet, but it'd be nice to be more of a player, but I have not dabbled in being the GM. I'm not that. Well, thank you, 𝙏𝙖𝙗𝙗𝙏𝙏, but I'm usually not the one in front of the camera. I like being behind. I like being a player. I feel like you have to have a lot of improv, especially with kids. When we play with our kids and Jacob just rolls with the things that they come up with, and I'm like, I don't know.
So, I've seen Jacob's improv game. It's masterful.
Yeah.
I do have to give a shout out to T-Dog on the live stream. I didn't get a chance to. And 𝙏𝙖𝙗𝙗𝙗, I totally agree with you. You are doing excellent in front of the camera.
Thank you.
You know, producing skills are not that far off from game mastering skills.
I mean, I do have the power, you know, we were talking about it earlier. I could change things around, mute people, you know.
There you go. There you go. But, yeah. So what else do you want to talk about on date night?
Yeah, I have no idea. I was just kind of like, hey, I'm going to do a thing. And then I didn't know why I suggested it, but I just figured we had Thursday nights going. It was a good thing. And then, oh no, I think I just lost Glenn. It wasn't me. I didn't. Hi, Glee. I did not kick Glenn off. I have no idea where he went. Now it is straight up just me. I would not want to mute you, Glee, if you were on here. Feel free to join on. Oh, wow. Glenn says he has a power brownout. Am I muted? Let's see. Oh, man. See, it's a Thursday, and it's technology, and it's me. And usually, those three things do not get along. So, alright, so chat can still hear me. Well, howdy, everyone. Actually, on chat, I'm going under Jacob's name there. So, well, I'm glad we got, I think everything that Glenn wanted to talk about here in the longest day for his RPGs versus AD fundraiser. And we really hope you guys check that out. Like he said, we're going to be running a game for him in that in June. Scrat and Glee say they can come on. I mean, yes, please. I have no idea how to get you on here, but we could try and figure something out. Yep, I'm just going to be winging it now. And like I was just saying, I am not good at improv. So, yeah, here we are. I'm trying to think of... Glenn and I didn't have anything else we were really going to talk about. I'm using video, and we'll see if I could pop anyone else in here. In the meantime, I can do a shout out of, as I was talking. Oh wait, maybe I got Glenn back on. I think I hear you. Hey, what happened? Oh no! So, Glenn, I've got to get him. Glenn, I got to get you back on the stream. I am working on that, chat. I was telling Glenn earlier, I have 2 screens hooked to one computer and 2 screens hooked to the other. So while I readjust to which screen is which here and find where Glenn went. It's Where's Waldo, but we got Where's Glenn. All right, here we go. And I was on the wrong area. Also, I can give you a little behind the scenes. He's listed as Dave on my OBS. So, yep, you're Dave for the evening.
Weird.
Oh, there you are. Okay, there you go. No, it was just how we had it all set up, and then we just didn't change your name to Glenn. I just said, that's fine, just leave it. I'll know that Dave is Glenn, and now Glenn is back. Hi, Dave. I mean, Glenn.
Hello. I don't know if they can see us on the live stream.
Let's see. I mean, Glee and Scrat. Glee and Scrat are welcome to pop in if they want to. We're just... I don't know what I'm doing, but hopefully... Let me know if you guys can see Glenn now. Oh! Oh no! You did! So I gotta get him back. Hold on. I'll go back to this one. There we go. The fun things with technology, you know, we put so much trust in technology and then you're like, okay, it doesn't work very well sometimes. I told chat earlier, Glenn, that it's like, it's a Thursday, it's technology, and it's me, and those things, man, they don't always get along. At least for me. But, alright, I think we're... back up.
Okay. Well, hey guys, if you can see and hear me, sorry about that. It's weird. Where I live, I usually have pretty good power supply, but it was literally the whole power was blinking in and out. The connection reset on the modem, and but hopefully we're now back live and direct. Yes, that's a Max Headroom reference. So it's good to see everyone again. Sorry about the technical delays. But yeah, no, I was going to say maybe we ought to tell them a little bit about Clever, Cool, Crazy.
Yes. Yes, I would love to hear more about that. As I said, I saw it. I saw that everyone had a note card. And that was it. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was really awesome because you can get on board with that, scrap piece of paper and then write down what you need and have that. So explain a little more, because like I said, I didn't actually get to play it.
You know what? Do you happen to have any dice within reach of you?
Absolutely, of course. I am in Jacob's office, so I have a lot of clickety-clackety rocks.
I think we can fix that and explain it and play right now. No.
And I do have to say, we are playing this. I had my calendar up until I lost it now on all my screens, but I think we set a date, if I remember correctly.
June 9th, I believe.
So,
Yep. So.
Yeah, there we go. All right. Yeah, but we're gonna do a cool, crazy, and clever game as well. So yeah.
Some people might wonder, how do you remember the order of Clever, Cool, Crazy? You just look at the second letter. It's in alphabetical order.
And I keep saying it wrong too, but yeah.
No worries. There is no wrong. You can shorten it to 3C too. Or something like CCC.
CCC. Yeah, I was gonna say that's why I tend to say the CCC. I like alliterations too, so this was perfect. But
it's a universal light RPG system in development that basically I came up with because I wanted something that would work for sort of where I felt I needed the stats and systems to fall to get out of my way and tell a story. So it's a universal system. Easiest way to start out is just think first, like, what genre do you want to play, So, we've been talking a lot about Doctor Who lately. Should we do a Doctor Who?
Yeah, yes. Well, I was saying it's been like 11 years since I've really watched it. I mean, I'm a bit out of the loop of whatever's currently happening in the Doctor Who universe, but it's...
No worry. We have all of time and space to play with.
It's true.
Who's your first Doctor?
I don't really know. I had jumped in with David Tennant and then went back.
Well, David Tennant was your first, because that's where you jumped in.
That's true, but I did go back, and I don't remember where and when it was, but I started seeing it, and then I had a friend who was like, wait, I'll rewatch them with you. But that was also, that was a long time ago.
No worries. So, we are going to set the universe of Doctor Who. We'll file off the serial number so that there's no copyrights. But
right.
We'll But so I want Who world. Remember, we have all of time and space to play with. So, who would you want to be?
Oh my goodness, you're asking difficult questions. No. I don't know. See, I'm on the spot, and this is improv. This is why I'm not a good.
No worries. Let's workshop this, because this is part of the fun of games, right?
Well, see, and I was going to jump to Western, but I was going to say, I know we've talked about doing a Western CCC, so I'm like, oh, we'll do something different.
Well, one of my favorite things to do with Clever, Cool, Crazy are mashups.
Okay.
So, I now know where the vehicle formerly known as the TARDIS is going. It's going to the Old West.
I like that. That is obviously my era.
Very good.
Or setting, yeah.
So, all right. Well, let's turn it around. What is your favorite character to play in the Old Wild West?
Well, that would probably have to be a halfling centaur.
All right, I love it. Okay.
And I really hope that I see that she said that. I see Kristen's in here, so I hope that they're watching, and I hope Jacob is happily smiling because I brought up a halfling centaur.
All right. And in Clever, Cool, Crazy, so halfling centaur would be your nature. That's your ancestry. So that's one of your 4 base features already picked. Congratulations. Okay. Absolutely watch The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. Yes.
Oh, I have not. I'm going to write that down.
God. So good. Yep. So good. Haven't watched it in way too long. But yes, I loved The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. But anyway, we got to get your character made. So that's one feature. And whereabouts does your halfling centaur roam?
Through the woods and the plains.
Is that? Yeah, go ahead.
Lives on the edge of the woods, but has the plains to gallop free.
Very good, very good. And did you grow up in the wilds or more in the city?
Oh, the wilds, yeah.
Hey, all right. I feel like you're a halfling centaur who grew up on the range. So we're gonna call your nurture or background, if you will, on the range. That's your second feature. All right, you're a halfling centaur from on the range. So we've got 2 of your features down and 2 more to go. And let me ask you a question. Your halfling centaur, what do they do to survive in the wild, in the wilderness? How do you make your living?
Oh. Let's see. I gather and sell wood. I'll gather wood.
All right. So would that be a woodcutter or just a woodswoman?
Woods, yeah. All right.
That's your third feature, your woodswoman. So you're a halfling centaur woodswoman from the range. We have 3 of your features, and all we need now is your name.
Oh, that one's easy. Morgan Percheron.
All right, very good.
Because those are some good types of horse breeds.
There you go. So now you have your 4 features, including your name, because your name in Clever, Cool, Crazy can serve as one of your stats, one of your features.
Oh.
Now, basically, as the game master, you would also want to determine what sort of level you'd be playing. Like if we were talking about Dungeons and Dragons, is it a starting first level? Are you going mid-tier, starting 10th level? That would factor in how you distribute numbers next to those 4 features.
Right.
Why don't we go a little bit entry level? I actually did this with my neurologist buddies on Sunday night. We all gathered together. We were in DC for the Neurology on the Hill advocacy event, so we played some Clever and Crazy. But I totally ripped off Esper the Bard's Gauntlet Runners and ran them through my Theater of the Mind group version of that.
Nice.
That was delightful. But I had them do low level. So I said, pick 2 of your 4 features and put a 2 by them, and pick 2 and put 1 by them. So 2 obviously is more powerful than 1, just so you know. Is better. So, and by the way, you might ask, well, how does my name work as a feature? It's like your reputation.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
So, which of those 4 features is most important to you?
Oh, man, being the woodswoman.
All right, that should be one of your 2.
Okay.
And then, what's the next most important to you?
Being the centaur.
All right. So those are your 2s. The others are 1. We're going to keep this simple. There's other things you can do, like you can have a starting condition, but don't worry, you can gain conditions as you go through. Usually negative, but sometimes it's your favor. Sometimes.
Okay.
And then there's also assets, basically things that you can add, special equipment, magical items, sometimes just special inspiration, If anyone's played the Cypher system, I didn't directly get this from it, but having seen and read more on Cypher, it's somewhat similar sometimes to those. Anyway, but we're going to keep it simple. We'll just start with your 4 features. You've already got a character. And basically, I'll teach you how to play as we play.
Okay.
So let me ask you, when you hear this strange noise coming from the distance, where are you?
I'm on the edge of the woods.
All right. You hear woom, 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 woom sound coming from the woods. It's a strange whomping sound, yet strangely intriguing and reassuring. What do you do?
I'm looking up. I know it's not an owl, but it almost had that kind of like comforting owl hooting sound. So I'm kind of like wondering if it's coming from above.
It is not. It's coming from directly ahead, deeper into the woods.
Well, I will go investigate.
Very good, very good. You go deeper into the woods, and very quickly you see a strange box-like object that has a blinking blue light on the top, slowly fading and diminishing. You know immediately, you are a woodswoman, you know this doesn't fit in your world. And there's a doorway opening in it, and out of it steps a lanky figure wearing a long coat and with a Stetson hat pulled a little down. And he says to you, "Well, howdy."
I say, "You don't belong here."
"Oh, I've heard that before, but you never know. I don't always go where I intend, but I always get where I'm needed."
Why are you needed here? I think we're fine.
No, that I don't know, but you are just fantastic. Look at those. Oh my goodness. You are built for speed, aren't you?
I try.
And what's your name?
I'm Morgan Pertron.
Morgan Pertron. It rolls off the tongue. How delightful. You can call me, what should I be this time? Why don't you call me the Professor?
All right, Professor. A first name?
A name.
Professor. So you don't know why you're here, but you're needed.
Absolutely no idea. I often am. But sometimes I just like to explore. And this looks like a great frontier to explore you have here, Morgan.
Well, I didn't make it. I just live here.
Sounds fantastic. So, show me your favorite place.
That would be this way.
Well, he follows you along. Let me ask you this, Morgan. What trouble's been plaguing the range lately?
Been a bit of a drought. Usually I'd say my favorite spot's a swimming hole, but that's dried up for right now.
A drought. How abysmal. I wonder. And you see him pull something out of his coat, and you hear a little humming from a silvery device.
I kind of like, where the horses stop and they're just kind of like looking at it like a little bit. Do I have to run from this thing? Like, what's happening?
Well, that's a good question. Do you think there's any features you have that would let you know whether this is something to be feared?
Probably like the woodswoman sense, right? Is that you're talking about one of those 4 features?
Yeah, that makes sense to me. And you are, I would say, on your home turf here. You're from the range and you're on the range. So in Clever, Cool, Crazy, if there's ever a call for a roll, to kind of figure out both what features, and it can be more than one, would apply, and whichever is the highest is going to be your base. We're still workshopping some of the, way that features and another type of factor that we didn't do it. I'm doing a simplified version today, effortless, Clever, Crazy. But in other versions, we have a type of currency called effort that you can spend, but we're going to keep it effortless tonight.
I like that a lot.
It is actually the name of the version. I try and label everything very clear and make things actually mechanically useful that it usually would just be labels.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
I'm glad it does. So I believe your woodswoman is a 2 and from the range is 1. So woodswoman would be your base. You get to add an additional 1 for your being from the range. So you're already at 3.
Okay.
You haven't yet. I, as the game master, am determining in my head just what the difficulty of this would be. And for this check, and we're making it a simple check to mostly illustrate things. Yeah. Now, let me ask you, is there anything special you're trying to do to be successful at determining whether this is a threat or to position yourself to do something if it is?
Yeah, I'd be poised to run. Like, I've got everything. Like, if I'm just like, got to get out of here.
Gotcha. Well, I would say that's pretty clever, which means you add 1 point for being clever.
All right.
You start to see how the names are getting back in. Now, if you had said, I'm going to, first of all, run circles around him to confuse him and then shoot out, I'd say, well, that's pretty clever. And that sounds pretty crazy. That's an out of the box sort of thinking. So you'd get 2 for that, you know?
And what if I toss a rear up in there too? Like, holding like a Lone Ranger pose, right?
Oh my God. Are you kidding me? That would be cool. Which would give you all 3, clever, cool, crazy, which add to your roll total. So right now, we workshopped it. So right now, this check, you got 2 for your base, you got 1 for the additional feature of being on your range, and you got all 3, clever, cool, crazy. So you're up to 6 now, and we haven't even rolled yet.
Wow.
And we can, so you're doing good.
All right.
Again, you're thinking it out, and I think it's time for us to roll. And let me see which dice I have handy here. I actually got some special dice for this game, but for now, yes, you can have special dice or regular dice. It's really, to play Clever, Cool, Crazy, all you need are D6s, like easy D6 as you can raid the Monopoly set. So too can you with Clever, Cool, Crazy. To start with, really, because we're doing effortless, you just need a D6.
Okay.
And go ahead and roll that D6. And I also am going to roll a D6. What did you get?
1.
Okay. So very simple. 1, you would just add to the 6, so you're up to 7. I rolled a 4, which I actually had in my head put a level 3 challenge for this. So 3 plus 4 is 7. Guess what? We're tied. Now, in some situations, a tie just means that it's a mixed result or equivocal. But my favorite way of dealing with ties is a roll-off.
Okay. Okay. Oh.
What'd you get?
I got a 6.
Okay, I also got a 6. Now, here's the funny thing.
Are you using a red dice? I'm going to switch my dice.
It's purple.
It's purple?
Goes with my Alzheimer's Association
Makes
shirt.
sense, yeah.
But here's the thing. My Clever, Cool, Crazy system uses my custom dice rolling mechanic, DEADS, the dueling exploding dice system.
Wow.
DEADS.
Yep. I love it.
And basically, the dice we use for it are technically D0 through 5 exploding.
Okay.
6s count as zeros.
Oh.
Yes, I also have some dice that you can get online that are like 0 to 5. Not my personal one. I'm not selling any. But there are some available. Like I think they do special math stuff with it.
Okay.
But it's 0 to 5 because that makes the math easy. Right?
Yes, it does.
And a 6 is a 0, so it doesn't add anything. 5s explode. Now, you got a 0 and I got a 0, aka 6.
Right.
Guess what? We still got to keep dueling. keep rolling. Roll again.
I'm gonna change my dice if we get the same one. Did you get 4? Did you get? I got 4.
I got a 5.
Oh.
Which means I explode, and then I got a 4 on top of that. So
there's the 4.
Yes, unfortunately, in Clever, Cool, Crazy, the world pushes back. You did very well on positioning yourself, but I'm going to allow you to describe what happens when not only did you fail to know that this was completely innocuous, but you failed in spectacular fashion.
So I'm like, where's Jacob? I'm gonna call him up, and I need his improv. It's more like
it's what would Jacob do?
Well, right. Probably have me like run into a tree or something. Like as I get like off balance as I try and rear, and I go to run the circle, but get too dizzy, so I smash into a tree.
That's right. And you do. You smash smack dab into it. And I think, given that I exceeded your roll by at least 5, I think that's going to result in a condition.
Uh-oh.
And your condition will be concussed 1.
Ouch.
You just got a concussion from running into that tree. Ouch. Yes. Ouch indeed. Now, in Clever, Cool, Crazy, the first time in a session that you use a feature, you gain experience in that feature. You use 2 of your features, one as the base and one to help out. To keep it simple, this is going to be a one-shot, so we don't need to really worry about experience. But if we were doing for several, you could do it 2 ways. You could actually go ahead, and I sometimes do rapid accelerated advancement in a one-shot. Like you could increase the 2 you used by 1. So like now your woodswoman is 3 and your from the range is 2.
Oh, okay.
So why don't you do that just for fun?
All right.
You hit your head hard, but you learned from it.
That's the important thing. Learn from your mistakes. Move on.
I know, right? More traditionally in Clever, Cool, Crazy, you would add a 0.1 next to those numbers. And once you get it up 0.1, 0.2, you see where I'm going with this?
Yes.
You hit the whole number, you've leveled up. So you are now concussed, which means your condition of concussion will apply to anything which might have a concussion adversely affected.
Which is like everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, sometimes they are. And the condition will last until something happens in-game that would remove it, or something in particular would be appropriate thematically for it. So you've got that concussion for the now.
Like metagaming, I know this is the doctor, and like if he had said he was the doctor, I probably would have been like, well, hey, doctor, but he said he was the professor, so I'm not even going to ask him for any healing help.
I know. Well, I'm not that type of doctor. I am.
Right.
Not this time. Anyway. Bad joke. Anyway, but I think, you end up prone. There's little like halfling centaur horses riding around in your vision. And you look up and you see standing over you, the professor. Are you quite all right?
No. And yes. Mostly no.
Hold that thought. I might be able to do something. And you see him continue fiddling with it. And you hear this loud, high-pitched squeal. And then a little like, almost like a pulse of, energy seems to shoot up into the air. You remember on particularly hot summer days on the Ponderosa when the heat was so great that the air would seem to ripple near the ground. And that's what it looks like going straight up. And then it seems like up in the sky, vapor starts to condense into clouds and blessed rain starts to rain down into your watering hole and onto your concussed head. And it feels a little better. Not quite enough to get rid of your concussion, but I will tell you what, we're going to, in fact, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to give you an asset. It's a one-time use. So once you use it, it's used up. The concussion's a little too tough to totally take away yet. You're going to get an asset right now of water-cooled 1.
Ooh.
That you can use to soothe your concussed brow. So, yet, Zaxaniet, she pulled a George of the Jungle. Exactly. Watch out for that tree.
Yep. I didn't watch out. So
yes.
With like if you get a 1, there isn't like the nat 1 like, oh no, it's an automatic something bad happens.
No, it's not. 6 is your natural 1.
Okay.
And actually, if we were playing the effortful version, I'm workshopping a couple different ways, but like 0s and 5s have the ability to help refresh effort. So like if you roll a 0, it didn't add anything, but you get back some effort as a consolation prize sometimes.
Yeah.
Or you roll 5s, it exploded, and if you still fail, despite exploding, because remember, I could explode too as the game master.
Yeah.
Or as I like to call it in Clever, Cool, Crazy, the revealer of worlds, the
Ooh,
row.
I like that. Yeah.
So, you might explode, which is exciting, but then you still could fail. At least you get some effort back as a consolation prize on your roll. And the way I have it, because it's always a roll-off, it means the dice themselves are neutral in terms of the amount added. So it puts more importance on what features you use and whether you were clever, cool, and crazy about it.
Interesting. Yeah, the roll-off is fun, too, because that gives both the GM and the player a chance, like, it's up to the dice now at this point to see what happens.
Yeah, it gives a little excitement, a little bit of that Monte Carlo energy, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's some of the basics of how you play it. And where would is it Morgan or Morgana? I can't remember. Morgan.
Morgan,
right?
yeah.
Morgan, take the professor next after the watering hole.
I'd head into town with the professor to see if the stream that leads past the town is filling up, if they're, able to, make sure the townsfolk know that they're getting some water too. I mean, obviously they know because it's raining, but...
Well, it's only raining out on the range. It's not raining in the city. It's a small cloud. The Sonic can only do so much.
That's true. Well, I want to make sure that it's not, no flooding is going to happen, because if it rains too much... it's been too dusty and dry.
The water is not getting all the way to town because the stream's been blocked off by some nefarious beavers.
Oh man, this is where I wish I could pull up his beaver image. He's so fast with it.
I know. All right, so you see these beaverados, beaver desperados, and they've been working hard on this plan. They figured they had a window of opportunity while the stream bed was dry. They could really build up their dam to block off any water coming through, and those people would be mighty thirsty and willing to pay. How does Morgan take that?
Oh, Morgan Pertron does not like that at all. So she gallops over and she's just trying to start back kicking at all the wood they've piled up.
I love it. That is cool. It's clever. You're using your assets to break this up. I don't think it's that crazy, but in Clever, Cool, Crazy, if the revealer of worlds, the row, doesn't award all 3, any player can make an argument to reward one of the ones they didn't do, and it just gets accepted as long as you explain it. So, do you want to make an argument of why your move is not just clever and cool, but it's also crazy?
Well, I'm thinking because she's concussed, she's not thinking clearly, because obviously this is kind of a crazy move. Like, what can you really do? Like, she could break a leg here doing that, get it stuck in the wood, in between when it's all piled. Like, that's the end of a horse, one broken leg. So that's...
There you go. I love it. So now you've got all 3 because you were able to put your case forward. So you get all 3.
All right.
You're clearly using your halfling centaur nature on this. So that's going to be one of your features right there. What else of your features do you think might apply?
Let's see. Well, the woods woman.
It is made of wood.
So...
Just saying.
And that was still, you're going with the 3 with the woods woman, you'd said?
Yep.
All right.
So woods woman would be your base again, 3. Now, you already leveled up in this session, so it won't level up further. But have we used your halfling centaur yet?
No.
So that one will level up after the roll. Okay.
Oh.
because it's after the roll, but it will level up. So you got 3 from your woods woman, and you got 2 from your halfling center. If we go old school, clever, cool, crazy, I've been workshopping lately just having 1 additional feature out of 1. I'm trying to bring down some numeric. So let's just go with that. So 3 for your woods woman, 1 from having an additional feature, but that feature will level up afterwards to a 3. So that's exciting.
Yep.
All right. And, you've got 4 from your features, 3 from the base, 1 from the additional feature, and you've got 3 additional from clever, cool, crazy. So that's 4 plus 3. That's 7 right there, and you haven't even rolled. But you are concussed.
Yes.
That's going to take away 1. So that you're down to 6.
All right.
And we're going to roll again.
Okay.
These beaver desperados are going to try and interfere with you, but the professor is going to play interference to help level the playing field. So it's just going to be a straight roll, you against the dam.
Oh boy.
So pretty sturdy dam.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm putting the number in my head higher.
Makes sense.
All right. Let's roll.
Okay. 4.
5.
Oh no.
Ooh.
So do I?
Did
Yeah.
I tell you ever that I roll like Galaxy Fox?
Oh man.
Oh yeah, that one was a 1 though.
All right.
So. I had 11.
Whew.
Yeah. So all right. So I want you to describe for me how Morgan, with the heart of a range warrior, spectacularly fails in her attempt to break down the dam and release the water.
Well, with running over, just kicking up so much dust because there's no water on the side that she's running up from, just kind of gets disoriented, especially with the concussion, and misses. Where she's kicking.
I think you have a slip and fall injury, and you hit your head again. You are now concussed too.
Oh man!
Right. But you're still not out because you're down, but you're not out because you do have now a feature that's higher than your condition, so you can still work. See, especially for effortless, clever, cool, crazy. If you get a condition so high that it negates your highest feature, you're incapacitated. That's sort of losing, if you will.
Right.
But you're not there yet. So you still got some things in the tank. All right. What's your counter, man? The professor is doing these weird. He's like running. He's like running around. He's occasionally poking little holes in their damn little spurts of water going through. The beavers are using their tails to pat it down while they're taking out their 6 shooters and actually shooting at him. One shoots the Stetson right off his head. It's like playing whack-a-mole with a time person. What's Morgan doing?
Oh man. Wow. Well, let's see. We'll switch tactics a little bit. She'll try and run around from behind, almost like flanking, but just coming not exactly sneaky. I don't know if there'd be a sneaky feature here but it's a halfling though. It's a halfling.
Yeah.
So,
oh my God. Yeah. Halfling centaurs can totally be sneaky. I think they can hide behind time people.
Perfect. Then yeah, she's gonna head that way. I don't know.
Okay, well, no, you're going to hide behind him, and then what are you going to do once you're hidden from these beaverados?
Man, does the professor have any sort of rope on him? Let's see. How does any sort of pack or like, equipment items work?
So basically, in Clever, Cool, Crazy, any normal equipment that you would normally have from one of your features, you just have. They don't add anything mechanically, but really the features have 2 factors, a qualitative and a quantitative. So the number is the quantitative part. The qualitative is what it is. And you can pull in your real world knowledge to inform that. Like, for example, I didn't have to have any special crunchy mechanical rules to say a halfling centaur could hide behind someone, because we know from having played a lot of role-playing games that often halflings are sneaky and can hide behind people. So pulled that in because qualitatively, we knew that was something a halfling centaur should be able to do.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if the professor would necessarily have a rope, but I do know that the professor would probably have deep, some would say bigger on the inside pockets. And in one of those pockets, if you were to reach into it, why don't you see if you can find something rope-like and see what you pull out?
All right. So how's that work then? Is this a roll or it's just...
Just go ahead and pull, and I'll tell you what you find.
So story. All right. Yeah, so I'm just kind of like, all right, seeing if there's anything in the pockets.
There is. You feel like a little string thing, and you pull it out, and it is the largest yo-yo you have ever seen. Well, you see over your shoulder the professor's head quirk just a little bit. He's still like keeping full attention on the beaverados, but you hear him whisper out of the side, "Gravity detector."
Well, I was thinking with her on the range sort of woodsman knowledge, making into like a type of bola, but also a lariat, sort of. If it's got the yo-yo.
Yeah, it's a bolo yo lariat.
Yes.
Bolo yo-yo lariat.
Yeah.
Say that fast 3 times.
That's the one. That's it.
Yeah. All right.
So then. And then is this like something I'd roll at all, or just storytell?
Tell me what you want to do with it, and then we'll roll to see the outcome of it.
All right. So I want to try and lasso Bola, the main leader looking of the beaver bandits.
Gotcha. So you know what? If you pull this off, I think it's clever going after the leader, the ringleader of the beaverados. That's a good way to decapitate them from the top. I think it would be awfully cool for you to rope this beaverado. And I think it's a little crazy. You're using a yo-yo to do it. So yeah. I'm giving you all 3.
Nice.
I'm a little generous on my clever, cool, crazy, but I think it applies. This is definitely using your, from the range, I think that definitely applies here. I'm not feeling a lot of woodswoman from this.
I was thinking like tying up the sticks though, like knowing how to do knots.
All right. I see where you're going with that. Again, we're having fun. I'm going to be a little generous. I'm going to say yes.
All right.
Because I'm a fan of my players.
Feel free to tell me no. I get it, though.
No, I'm going to say yes. Yes. Right. So, Woodswoman's higher. It's always the highest, not the most appropriate, as long as you can make them somewhat appropriate. It's always the highest as the base. So that's your 3. And then you're from the range, which have we...
2. Yep, I wrote down 2. Yep.
I leveled it up. Very good. So it's going to be 3 plus 1 because we're just for an additional 1. So 4... And it's clever, cool, crazy. So 7. I actually think that this is not quite as tough as trying to break that dam, but it's tougher than trying to figure out what the professor was using. So I picked a number between those. And I would say your concussion should apply, but did you want to use that cooling water that you have?
Yes. Yep. So would just knock it to 1.
That would, yes. Correct. That is correct. So it'll knock it to 1. So, I think you maybe have a few glistening raindrops still that just hit just right to kind of cool your head and calm you enough to try and pull off this desperado maneuver against these beaverados. So,
do you have any a focused action or anything?
Not as such, although that would be a fun one, right? Really, it's the clever, cool, crazy that I think falls into that. Clever is kind of focused. If we were playing with effort, you can expend effort. The current version is you would first have to expend effort to negate any conditions, which does helps you because it negates. And then you could spend above that up to the amount of clever, cool, and crazy you've been awarded to buy extra dice to roll.
Oh, I like that.
And what you do is with the extra dice in effortful or advanced clever crazy, you would for each one you would roll all of them together and you keep 5s and the highest.
Okay.
So it increases your chances basically of exploding, but it also means you don't have to keep rolling to see if you explode. It just does it. Unless all of the dice are 5s, then you roll another one.
Ooh, and that would be nice. Yeah.
It would. But we were keeping this effortless. But you know what? We're demonstrating. You know what? I'm going to say magically that you happen to have, 3 effort to spend.
Okay.
Would you like to spend some effort on this roll?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So you got to spend an additional 1 because you still have 1 concussion to eliminate. And so that means you've got 2 effort. You already have all 3 clever, cool, crazy. So you can spend all 2 of the remaining effort to roll 2 additional dice, which means 3 total.
Okay.
So roll 3 d6s. You're going to keep 5s in the highest. Remember, 6s are 0.
6 are 0. Yeah, I got to remember that's a tricky one.
As that might say. All right. Now, as the revealer of worlds, I cannot roll more dice than the player does.
Oh, okay.
Now, in effortful, these 𝑴𝒐𝒏𝒖𝒎𝒆𝒏𝒕 might have some effort of their own to spend. And in this case, you are attacking the leader. So I'm going to say he has 1 effort to spend. He can't match your 3, but he's going to roll 2.
Okay.
All right. Let's go.
Okay.
And I did put in dice jail that one that was rolling multiple 5s.
Nice.
So I rolled a 1 and a 2, which means I'm just keeping 2.
All right.
So not a good roll for me. What did you get?
Let's see. I like the red dice. Well, where is it? I had a 6, a 5. That's a 0 though.
It explodes. Yeah.
But the 5 does, and a 4.
Okay, so you keep the 5 and the 4, which is 9 to my 2 for the addition, and you already had 7 because remember you spent an effort to negate it, so that's pretty good. That's well good enough. You're over 5. You succeed. Describe what it looks like when your bolo yo-yo lariat hog ties this 𝑴𝒐𝒏𝒖𝒎𝒏𝒕.
Well, it surprises him entirely because he wasn't expecting it from like the knees of the tall guy to.
I know, because you were very clever to hide behind the professor and to filter his pockets for your bolo yo-yo lariat.
And so just like all of a sudden snakes out him, he's like, thinks maybe, he's getting bit by a snake or something as it just wraps around him and yank it back. So pulls him down and maybe he gets a concussion as he smacks his head too.
You know what? That's exactly what happens to him. He gets a concussion. All right. I think between the professor razzle-dazzling these 𝑴𝒐𝒏𝒖𝒎𝒏𝒕s with his hole poking skills and dodging of bullets, and you concussing and hog tying the lead 𝑴𝒐𝒏𝒖𝒎𝒏𝒕, they cry uncle. They give up. They sorrowfully tear down their beautiful dam. It was a beautiful dam, a big dam, dammed the entire stream. But they take it down. They let the water flow into a parched town that you then ride into, and by ride I mean on your own hooves, power, to the acclaim of the townsfolk as Morgan, the halfling centaur from the range, comes to the rescue of the town with a tall stranger with a hole in his Stetson and his coat pocket. And he's like, well, that was fantastic. Can I get my gravity detector back?
Like, you're what? And I just like, I want to keep that. So like, yeah.
Okay, all right.
I'm like, I don't know where that got washed downstream.
You know what? He looks at you. He's like, of course it did. No. He tilts his hat with the hole in it to you. It's been a pleasure, Morgan. I hope to see you again sometime. And you see behind him, he snaps his fingers, and that same box materializes out of thin air. They're making that. And he steps back in and he says, I'll catch you another time. And that's our adventure of Clever, Cool, Crazy on date night.
That is great. So I have a question with so would the feature of now, in this case, her name, would Morgan Pertrand, would that get a level up because going into town and being like, hey, she's the one that saved the town?
Right. So technically, the Reveal of Worlds can award extra experience for special role play events. So yes, that's one way to do it. Another way is for every hour played, usually you gain more experience points that you can distribute first to features you haven't used. And then once you fill those up to features that you choose. So that it kind of keeps a little bit even playing field. Also, although I feel like I should have awarded you for that last maneuver. Another thing that happens is when there's excellent role playing, you award the entire party awesome, which if you're playing effortful, Clever, Cool, Crazy means you gain 1 effort back. And you did gain some effort because you rolled a 0 and 5 on that last big roll. So, with my stripped down rules I've been trying out this week, you would get back 1 effort because you rolled at least a 5 or a 0 and had spent effort. So you get back 1 refunded. Again, I'm trying to cut numbers down. We had some number inflation, trying to bring it a little bit back down and grounded so we have room to explode.
Right.
Now, I will add something we didn't illustrate this way. And so everyone in the party would gain effort. Now it's just you. So you would just gain effort. If we had a whole party, because I want everyone to be fans of everyone else playing.
Yes.
So if someone really is getting into a deep role play moment, I like rewarding the entire party for that.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
And everyone loves those moments.
Yep.
Even if you're maybe, I don't know, a quiet person who doesn't like to do a lot of improv, you can root for people like, I don't know, named Jacob, to really jam it up, because when they do that, you win.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. And clever and crazy.
There you go. Now you know why it's the name. And if we wanted to do something a little bit more high powered, like, for example, with some of our fabulous folks from Avenue Studios, we did a one shot at Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo 2, page 2, where everyone basically were dragon riders. And so we had an additional feature that was basically representing the fact that they had a dragon, and that was at a different level. So there's secret levels that I did that usually in regular play you don't even have to worry about. All right, because basically my quantitative scale is on a form of, and I can't remember if it's logarithmic or exponential, but basically the range of numbers you can have are from 1 to 9. Now, what about above 9? So that's, for example, what we were playing was on human scale. So 1 to 9, 1 or 2 kind of starting out young, a halfling center, just starting her career as a woodswoman, but 9 would be like master woodswoman, the pinnacle of halfling centerdom, that's like, if we were in I don't know, a certain MCU universe, that would be like, well, I won't say MCU because they've kind of supersized. Let's go DC. If Batman, he's like to the 9s, but he's human, so he's Captain 9. But then you get Superman. Well, would Superman be a 9? No, because he's on a totally different scale.
Yep.
So really, 1 to 9 is human scale, but then there's another 1 to 9 right above it, but it's times 10. Okay. And then there's a 1 to 9 above that, but it's times 100. Whew. And you can keep going. All the way down. Like you could have little insects and stuff that are like 0.1. And below that, So for example, if you were fighting a young dragon and you were Batman, a 9 could if that dragon level 1 that's times 10, they're actually not that far. On a bad roll, you could, if you roll well and they roll bad, you can beat them.
You're right.
If they roll good, forget about it. Because here's the thing with that scale, it keeps, if you're in the same level, like dragon fighting dragon, you ignore the numbers. They're tense. They don't matter because they're on the same level. It's only when it's between levels that it starts to become a important issue. But here's the thing, because the multiplier is sort of to the side instead of baked into the feature number, everything multiplies by that. So for example, if you were a dragon 1 times 10 and you roll this and I get like 3 on this to add to the 1, that's 40, not 14.
Yeah.
So everything multiplies. It keeps the math very simple and very in the background.
Yes. Whew. But also powerful. Yeah.
So you can scale it for whatever scale you need. So Superman might be like times 100 times 1,000, for strength. But, when it comes to being a, small town, Smallville native, has his background, that's going to be human scale. And you can, so you can mix and match, right?
I like that. Wow. It adds a lot of variety, but very simple, very effortless.
Yeah. I try. So that's Clever, Cool, Crazy. That's what we're going to be playing June 9th. I believe we're doing a post-apocalyptic Western with a little bit of sort of a, serial numbers filed off Fallout flavor, perhaps.
Yeah, I think so. That one I'm just going to be behind the scenes, so it's been really nice to actually get a little taste of some flavor of this, and then I'll be off camera for that again. But
and you were able to improv just fine.
Thank you.
Don't believe the hype. You can do it.
I didn't say that I could do it. It's more just leave that to Jacob and the kids. But
so that's our system. I am workshopping it. I am probably going to start a mailing list for people who want to keep up with the game and want to help me play test. I'm actually looking for some game masters to run it. Once I draft the most recent version, I want to clean up the rules and simplify them a little bit for other game masters to use to really check it out. We're going to use it for our Avenue Studios special edition of RPGs versus AD to raise money for the Alzheimer's Association, our longest day feature. I'll remind you, there's a link for joining our team. And this is your call to action. We need you to help us fight Alzheimer's disease and related disorders. And for anyone who likes DC20, you're always welcome over at the DC20 West Marches Discord to play. And don't forget to go to Avenue Studios if you aren't already, because they run some great games there. I need to get involved in some more of those. Like, Jacob keeps telling me I got to learn how to play Pathfinder under his tutelage so I can really.
Well, we're excited to have you play, not next Thursday, but the Thursday after that for our St. Penguin's Day one-shot. That's going to be really exciting.
Yes.
Yeah, as far as I know, there's nothing on the calendar for next Thursday besides maybe some other sort of date night thing. We'll see what pops up. Other little tidbits, I just want to give another shout-out to that Eldamon campaign that's going to start on Thursday, March 20th. And I do want to toss out an idea that I had, and I can do this because Jacob's not here. He does know I said this to him, but he showed me, he was laughing the other day about an image. Oh, I got to go to the other computer. Hold on, this one. And he said, oh, this is weird. And I was like, what are you looking at? And he said it was a circle beard. So if anyone's heard of a circle beard before, I can't get to, let's see. All right. This right here, circle beards, it should be showing up for you guys. So these are circle beards, and I said, what if Avenue Studios, over the course of the Eldamon campaign, if we could raise $1,000 on the Streamlabs through just your donations, I will shave Jacob's head into a circle beard. And maybe not quite, like, it might look a little different, but I thought, hey, you know what? The circle beard fad looks interesting, and Avenue Studios definitely does some interesting things every now and then. So, tune in to the Eldamon campaign hop onto Streamlabs for some donations and help Jacob get a circle beard. If we raise over $1,000, I will stream it. I would absolutely figure out some way to like live stream Jacob getting a circle beard, because I've never heard of this before till the other day. But Glee's asking if she could donate to prevent it. I guess we could. We could have like.
Yes, yeah, love it.
Maybe that's how we should do this here. But I just thought that'd be something I could promote that tonight, since he's not here to stop me. No one's ending the stream on me, so and yes, T-Dog, he likes hats, so he'd probably leave the house wearing a hat and you probably couldn't even tell. Yes, exactly. As a Bane Boone, you can't unsee that. You cannot unsee the circle beard, and that was why I was like, I should share this with others in all its bizarre glory, I guess. So anyway, that was the thought I had. If you guys are all interested in using Streamlabs and the Eldamon campaign to help Jacob gain a circle beard, yeah. they don't look pretty, but I'm gonna leave it back on our better RPGs versus AD thought here as we end the night. But I just thought I'd throw that out there, that circle beards are a thing. So, Glenn, if you were thinking growing anything out.
I was not. I think it would probably be a U, because I'm a little short on top here nowadays, but that's okay. Litter beard. There we go.
More temporary. Well, and I told him he's getting a lot of white in there, so it could be Santa by next Christmas.
And just as we're putting up our RPGs versus AD, just a reminder, we will be culminating on June 20th. If you want to run games on June 20th, that's great. But we do want people running some games leading up to it, especially in early June. And if the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak, and you can't do it before June 20th, we can actually have people doing it into July as well. The Alzheimer Association Longest Day will still count towards those donations towards our goal.
That is so awesome. Thank you, Glenn, for your willingness to spur of the moment, jump on in here and, talking about RPGs versus AD. I think it's fantastic. And I'm glad we get a chance to kind of showcase this and spreading the word. It sounds like that's really the biggest thing, being able to talk about it. So, I feel free to use this video to be like, hey, share it. But
I will.
All right.
Thank you so much. It's been a great date night.
Thank you for joining me. Now let's see if I can turn this all off. But and thank you all, chat, for joining us. I do not have Daniel's spiel memorized, but it has been another fantastic Avenue Studios production, and I'm glad you came back on, Glenn. That the power stuff worked. So.
That was the weirdest thing. That has not happened in like a long time. So, but hey, we're back and better than that.
Well, I hope you all have a great evening, and we'll see you next time. Bye,
right,
guys.
Yeah, run some games during June. Woo-hoo.
Yeah, do it. More games, the better. Good night, all.